Alright, gamers, here we are. My hot takes thread explanation. So, Mr. Dat Truth did in fact make a video on my hot takes thread. I was very surprised. Some of the comments were pretty funny, I won't lie. I got a good kick out of them. The one I found the funniest was somebody said, "Who the fuck is Daven?" And I replied like, "Bro, what did I do?" And the switch up, he's like, "Nothing, man. I'm so happy you got your video. Congratulations." Anyways, I saw a couple people, like, obviously I don't expect the people from Truth's video to watch this video, but some people were wanting more clarification on stuff. And also in the stream I did a couple days ago, I said that I would do this anyways before he reacted to it. So here's like the proof of when I started playing, February 2016. It was during the first anniversary for Global, and then I stopped in 2017 because I needed storage on my phone. And the first time I downloaded the game, I wasn't as into it as I am now. So I was just like, you know, it's whatever, not a big deal. I'll just delete it and blah blah blah. I didn't get the transfer code or anything. Well, actually, I don't even think transfer codes work anymore. But back then, I think that was the only way. But blah 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 blah. So the account I'm on right now, starting in 2018. 100% true opinions, no bait. I want y'all to remember that. There's no bait. There's no masturbating of any kind, right? So, of course, the first one, the big hitter, him and Funny Name both thought that this one was funny. So I think there was a little bit of a misconception with this. I wasn't saying that Piccolo is the worst Dokkan Fest release ever. I'm saying that he's had the worst help of a Dokkan Fest release ever. And I saw somebody say that, no, actually it was LR Super Boo. LR Super Boo is not a Dokkan Fest. But even if you do want to say that, LR Super Boo, his team was like okay-ish. Like Transformation Boost was decent, right? Namekians, bro? This Namekians is ass. It always has been. So I mentioned that. So he had no teams except his own. So you could run him on Worthy Rivals, but his links were not great on Worthy Rivals. That was the team that he led. And in 2019, when he came out, I think that was it. I think it was Worthy Rivals, Namekians, and Android/Cell Saga. And those are the only three teams he had when he came out, I'm pretty sure. The only Namekians were DKP, Slug, and Nail. Now, Truth did bring up a good point that I did forget about. Him and Nail did run the game, sort of. When they were linked together, they ran shit. But you could only run them together on Namekians. And I'm pretty sure, right? I could be wrong in that. I could be forgetting a team, and if that's the case, you know, feel free to correct me. That's my bad. But let me go ahead and show y'all something. Let me just go ahead and show y'all something. So if we go to the Namekian team, nope. Let's go to the Namekian team. All right. So these are the only two Namekian leaders, right? Is these two, okay? And I don't think this isn't release order. No, it's not. Is there any way I can sort this by? Okay, okay. So let me tell you. So this guy released in Global. He released at the very beginning of 2020, right? Do you want to know the next Namekian card that we got was Orange? I guess you could count him, but he was a banner unit. You're not running him, okay? Like the next like really good Namekian unit was this guy. Orange Piccolo, bro. This was the next Namekian we got after this guy released. Let me double check the Nails teams while I'm here. Demonic Power wasn't out. I don't think Connected Hope wasn't out either. Yeah, so it was just the only team you could run them on together was Namekians. Or back when he came out, you could still like super type like Tech Vegito Blues leader skill. That was still a acceptable team to run. But yeah, like, I'm sorry, bro, but you cannot change my mind that this is the worst Dokkan Fest release ever in terms of help after he released. No teams, and his own team was horrible. You know what, guys? I'm going to also bring this up right now. I know we're 5 minutes in and we're still in the first take, but let me show y'all something, right? So we're going to go to Truth. We're going to go here, and we're going to go Namekians versus Goku event, okay? It's this one. Yeah. All right. Let me show y'all something. This Whoops. This was the Namekian team when this Piccolo came out, bro. You couldn't run a full Namekian team without running the SSR of 2 of the characters already there. Okay, when was this? The beginning of, yeah, this was the beginning of 2020. You could not run a full Namekian team without running the SSR of 2 different characters on the Namekian team. Like, I'm sorry. Like, nowadays, if he came out, like, okay, so nowadays, if a unit came out and led Namekians, they would get a lot more help, right? I get that. But back then, he didn't get help. He didn't get help. He got Nail. Was Nail out? I don't remember. Yes. Okay. So Nail was the banner unit, right? Let me double check. Let me just like confirm. Yeah, Nail was the banner unit, but that's it. And back in the day, some of y'all that are new to the game might not remember this, but back in the day, you could not run 2 of the same name character on a team. Nowadays, you can. They just won't link together. But back then, you couldn't run a Piccolo and then another Piccolo. So like this is Slug Giant, and then this is just regular Slug. This is DKP, and then this is DKP Elder. That's the only reason that he could run a full team of Namekians, right? So that was not my biggest point for this, was the Namekian fight versus the Goku event, but like I remembered that and I was like, okay, that's a point. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I still think he was like, I wasn't saying he was bad, by the way. He was good. He was really good. Especially, and on Easy 8 he was also really good, but when he Easy 8 he had way more teams than when he came out. But when he first came out, his teams, garbage. Alright, well, so my second point that I have stood on since 2021. Broly's active condition back in 2021 wasn't that bad. And I do say here, right? Yeah, okay, I do say it wasn't great, right? It definitely wasn't like Angel Frieza's where you could just do it whenever you want. But meta fights were turn 5 to 7. I know Truth mentioned the God event. Bro, the God event was turn 5 to 7. Like, it could be just because I still don't have like a full rainbow box or whatnot. But when, 2021, I was very much I was playing Global and JP, and turn 5, turn 6, that was about where the God event would end. And you could get really unlucky and not get his active at all in those fights, because if you don't know, his condition is he needs to super attack 4 times. So like nowadays in like the GDC fights, like, yeah, you're probably not getting that. But back in 2021, you were. Truth specifically, I love Truth, man. I'm not hating on him, but Truth, when this guy came out, kept saying his active was bad, and I just had to put my foot down. Like, no, listen, his active was not that bad. Now, it isn't good though. Like, it's not great. I think I got it 1 or 2 times on turn 3, because if you had his passive set up perfectly, there was a small chance you could super 4 times on turn 3. Or on turn 1, sorry. And then the next time he came around, you could get it on turn 3. This one I don't really need to go over. It's just kind of crazy that there's no special equips. Or like somebody in the comments, I think, said that like they could give specific characters these kind of equips. So like, let's say a unit has like, they don't really do it that much anymore, but let's say they had a 70% chance to guard. They could give them a guard equip that gave them like 10 or 20% extra or something like that. Or like Daima Goku has 44% damage reduction. They could give him like a 16% damage reduction skill orb or something like that. But like if a unit has one of these in their passive, they could give them an equip to boost it, which I thought was a pretty good idea. But yeah, it's been in the game for over half of its life cycle. It came out in the 5th anniversary. We're about to be in the 11th anniversary, and there hasn't been any changes besides EX and the levels. And I do think that is kind of crazy. I don't really need to go over this one. It's because this is a very opinion-based take. Like, you might hate reuse animations, and that's fine. I just wanted to let it be known that I did not give a fuck. Let's see. Slow times, yeah. I love OG Dragon Ball, so I'm always down for, like, stuff that the community would consider unhype, but I don't really need to explain this. If you were there, you played Blazing. If not, you might not even know what that is. Dokkan OSTs, y'all already know. Y'all already know I made one of my favorite videos that I made of best performing videos was ranking every Dokkan OST, and that was the beginning of the game up to Future Gohan, and letting y'all know now, at the end of this year, when the final unit comes out for the end of this year, I'm going to be making a second ranking of all of the OSTs from Future Gohan to whatever the end of this year is, and then at the end of every year going forward, I'll rank like every Dokkan OST in 2026, 2027, blah blah blah. So if you subscribe if you want to see that. Legends in Dokkan, yeah. I made this thread, by the way, on September 24th. So just bear that in mind. That if an opinion might be different or you might disagree with it now, just remember this was on September 24th. If you disagreed with it in September, then sure. But like, just I don't know. I don't know if there's anything here that would mess with that. But like, I don't know, let's say I said like, man, Daima Goku would be super hype if he ever came out. Like, let's say I just said that, right? And then he came out now. You might be like, well, he said that because he already can't. But like, I didn't, So just, I probably should have said at the beginning, but I'm just letting y'all know. But I don't need to say anything about this, which Truth also made a good point. It is usually Dokkan players that are hating on Legends, which is true. But, I don't think either side of the community should hate on each other. Sensitive over differing opinions. This is okay. I probably should have said this somewhere on this tweet, but this is personal experience, right? I didn't just say this. Like, Truth agreed with like the I don't know how to play, but like getting called every slur in the book and the I don't know how to play literally has happened. I mean, not, you get what I'm saying. Like, what was it? I was defending Festival, okay? You can hate Festival as much as you want. That's totally cool. If you respectfully disagree, or you don't even have to respectfully do it, but if you just disagree but not like rudely, like that's fine. But if you're like, you obviously just don't know how to play, because if you knew how to play you wouldn't like Festival, or you like Festival, and then insert something I can't say, like that's a little crazy, right? So I just had to put that in. Of course, this one got a decent amount of traction. They got a couple quotes and some likes. And this one wasn't my exact one, but this was just an example, because I think one time I've also replied to somebody like, yeah, I think OG Dragon Ball is cool, and then somebody like it's happened. Okay, trust me, it's happened. Yeah, I surprised Truth acted like he had heard this before, so maybe I'm not the first person to. I know I'm not the first person to have this idea, but I haven't seen anyone, at least when this came out, I hadn't seen anybody have this idea. But like, yeah, a quick save feature for Festival would be really easy, because which I also should have said it on here, but remember, I don't have Twitter Blue or whatever the hell it is now, so I'm limited to 150 characters, right? And the thread, I can only have like 23 posts in one thread or something like that, I don't know, but so I'm limited on what I can say. But a lot of people said like, yeah, because if I committed, like if I'm starting to commit to Festival, I'm not gonna want to like take too long and then not do my dailies and then or something like that. And I thought that was a good argument for this as well. Like nowadays, you can do Festival in like under 3 hours, very very much. You can do it in like 50 minutes or something like that. But when I think when I made this, I don't think Wrath Broly was out quite yet, but it doesn't matter. Quick save for Festival would make it much easier, because you could just do a couple phases and then you're like, all right, I'm chilling, let me go do my dailies, blah blah. And they could make it like they did in chain battle, to where if you have your characters on the quick save team, you cannot edit them at all. You can't put more orbs into them, you can't raise their super attack, you can't touch them at all. You can't you can't reverse them now anyways, but when chain battle was out for a while, you couldn't reverse characters either. Like when they were on your team, they were set and you could not change them. And I think that's a good way they could do a quick save. And it doesn't even have to be for Festival. They could just make it to where you could do that for any stage. Because there's a couple times, especially when I'm playing JP, where I want to check something. So I go to my global to check something on the unit, but then I'm in an event. And then I have to run through the event. And if it's like right at the beginning, like I'm not going to want to forfeit it. So I'll run through the event. By the time I'm finished, I forget about whatever it was on JP, So I think save and quit, or a quick save, would be a great idea just for the game in general. And of course, I didn't specify, but Truth was like, it should definitely not be where you can just reload the save over and over again, which I agree. Like once you load into the save gets deleted. I agree with that. All right, so this one was more of like a take that I had in in the middle of writing this thread. I'm like, well, Festival is kind of like Red Zone Broly. So, and I said it's a pseudo Red Zone Broly because I do think Red Zone Broly was harder when it first came out, but it is very similar. There was a total, when this thread was made, or when no, sorry, when Festival first came out, there was literally like 6 or 7 or 8 characters you could use in the event to have a decent chance of winning. When Red Zone Broly came out, you had to just get extremely lucky, and like it didn't matter who you had, you just had to get really lucky. So I get that, but like Festival took a couple days to know item, a day or 2 or 3. Festival literally took weeks. Or nope, reverse that. Festival took a day or 2 or 3 to know item. Red Zone Broly took like 2 weeks. It was, I remember I was there. So it just reminded me of how Red Zone Broly power crept the game. But Festival is different because not all of the content is going the Festival route. Most of the content after Red Zone Broly took the Red Zone Broly route because of the red zones and, you know, all that stuff. I don't really need to explain this one. This was just like, I don't know. I wasn't saying, get behind me, Truth. I got you. But Truth can complain about box space, right? If it doesn't affect us, doesn't matter. He should still be able to complain about it. And I couldn't come up with an example off the top of my head for this. That's why I just said I could complain about not having a rainbowed unit. But there are things on Dokkan Twitter, which I guess isn't a good example, but there are things in Dokkan that like might affect me that I'll complain about, and someone else completely unrelated to Truth, YouTube, whatever, will be like, well, that's stupid, you shouldn't complain about that. And they only say that because it doesn't affect them. So that's why I was saying this. It's just like people should be able to complain about stuff even if it doesn't affect like a majority of the community. Low IQ bait, this pissed me off. All right, when Kid Goku first came out, a lot of people were saying like, oh, well, of course he's going to tank Gogeta's super attack. He stacks when stackers stack. And it really just made me mad because a lot of other stacking units couldn't do that, and they were just hating on Kid Goku. That's all. So I just wanted to get my opinion out there on this. Yeah, this is here now on both versions. It's really annoying. I have lost a couple characters you can't get anymore because of this. I mean, for me, it's only it affects me a little bit, and it is kind of aggravating because of other, like I have like 3 copies of LR Bardock now. So, but it's like it's a minor inconvenience for me. Whales like Brother Russia, Truth, Calc does not play anymore. Why did he? I don't know why he came into my head, but like people like specifically like Brother Russia, Truth, Toon, Goresh, like those people, it affected way more. So like, I wanted to say this though, because when I was talking about this on Twitter or whatever, people automatically thought that I was saying like, oh, the reverse system's actually good. I was not saying that. I was just saying reawakening the units is stupid. And I did kind of want to like start replying to the Dokkan tweets and being like, please consider not reawakening the characters, but nobody else did it. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to be a one-man army here, so it's fine. This I really think they should do now, especially with the new like dupe system that you don't have to Dokkan Awaken a character to feed their path in, because let me tell you, bro, like this Videl is it's the Cell. You need to get, I think it was 21, was it 20? No, it wasn't 21. You had to get, okay, you know what, I'm using a bad example. I can just do this. Give me 2 seconds, right? Let's go to, I know a good one. Janemba. Alright. Alright, so this Janemba, okay? To awaken him from this Janemba, you needed it was 21 medals, right? But this was one of the older Dokkan events that did not drop 7 at a time. So you could literally do like 15 runs to get 21 medals, and then you Dokkan Awaken this Janemba into this Super Janemba and feed him in for 1 path, right? It was very annoying. Now, though, that they've changed that system to where you don't have to Dokkan Awaken him, I really think they should do this. I did see somebody say that they can't do this because of a server problem, which I guess I didn't take into consideration, but I don't really know if that would be the case. Like, I understand it's more data and more like, they said they were like changing or they're gonna help lower the app size, and this wouldn't help it, but I just feel like they should give them something, you know, because they're literally just Baba points, or Zenny if you're maxed out on Baba points, you know. So I just think they should do something with them. But of course, like if it's awaken this SSR to a TUR or have the game die 2 years early, then like obviously I don't want that to happen. So this is more of a collector thing. I liked, like, it was easier that LR Nova dropped as an LR, but I wish I could have also had his SSR and TUR. But he didn't drop as an SSR. He dropped as an LR, so there was no getting that. I felt the same way with the Super Battle Road units and like the Int GT Goku from the 4th anniversary that you can't get anymore. He dropped as a TUR, and you know, like I just wish you could collect them. But it's really like, I don't know. I might be the only person that thinks this. I don't know. Same thing with this. I also messed up here. I should have said Tech Grade 8 Bardock, but I just said Tech Bardock. So I'm not talking about the Dokkan Fest here. I'm talking about the... I also think... Am I on the wrong one? I think I'm on the wrong one. No. I am on the right one. What? I'm bugging. Whatever. Ignore me. I was talking about this Bardock right here. This Tech Grade 8 Bardock. So he released, you know, towards the end of 2016. Like, I do not care. Well, let me go to his Dokkan Awakening, actually, because this would be better to, like, for the point. This guy, I've pulled him so many times. I don't care. His passive can be the exact same, whatever, but imagine if he had a different art. That would go so hard. It would be so cool if, like, these older units that aren't, they're not new units, right? They're literally just like the Goku Black clones. They're the exact same name, same everything, but their arts are just different. I think that would be cool. Truth didn't seem to be on board with that, which is okay. I think it would be cool, though. Super Easy A's, I honestly kind of thought he would talk about this a little bit more. So, with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? He Easy A's using, or like with any Easy A, it's 15... bronze, 40 silver, 30 gold, 30 rainbow to fully Easy A him, right? Super Easy A's are an entirely different system as far as the medals go, and they just use 30 of the Super Easy A medal. Well, with this new medal system of upgrading the unit by just using one medal, what is stopping them in the future from saying, you know what? Super Saiyan 3 Goku isn't really good anymore. Let's give him a new update and just throw more Super Easy Game medals on there, and they can just do it again. Like, there's literally nothing stopping it. Because, like, before, it would make sense, because the rainbow medals increase your level by 5, increase your super attack by 1, and change the passive. But all the Super Easy Game medals do is upgrade the passive. So they can just, you know, 6 years from now, probably not, but, like, you know, 6 years from now, they could just throw 30 more Super Easy Game medals into missions and, like, hey, this, you can use this character again. Something like that, you know? I think that'd be pretty cool. And but he like, I guess I'm not the only person that's thought about that, because he just was like, yeah, I agree, and then just moved on. So I'm like, okay, all right. This one was, he was confused by this, which I guess I didn't specify, but I probably should. I don't know. By saying we're doing way bigger numbers than Chain Battle, I'm talking about the attack stat numbers. So I said this in a comment, and a lot of people that watch the video seem to know what I was talking about. But, like, Chain Battle, you were doing like 175, 180 million tops. Now that's like relatively easy with, like, it's like a little bit of wank and a little bit of support and like shorter fights, but you can get it kind of easily now. And I think that's a reason they might have taken away Chain Battle. They obviously took it away because of like feedback from the Japanese player base, I'm assuming, right? But another thing about Chain Battle is like, whoa, look at this big number we just hit, 100 and whatever, blah, 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 million. But it wouldn't be that special if you were just doing it as we are now. So I feel like there was a reason they might have taken that away. I was not talking about the skill orbs. They've done a horrible job with giving those out. And then I was trying to get Truth to look at this, because this was when he was... Like, this is around when he started. He was like, hey, guys, if you have a hot take thread, shoot it my way and I'll react to it. And I'm like, okay, I tried this last year. Never got a response. I'm going to try it this year. So I have more takes, and I might make a part 2, not for him, but just like a part 2 in general, and then like react or explain him on a separate video or whatever. But in 2024, I got into a pretty bad accident, okay? And this was literally like... this was about 4 hours after it happened, yeah. And I was like, oh shit, I got Frieza. Yeah, I really shouldn't have summoned, but it makes me feel better. So I tweeted at him. I'm like, can you? I was like, I got in a wreck today. He's like, huh? He replied to it. In the video, it seems like he didn't remember, which is like totally understandable. But I'm like, yeah, this happened. I was not feeling great. So I threw a multi at the banner and it worked. It did. Who was it? Yeah, he was like, why would anyone be in the mindset of doing a multi after this? Dude, he's cool. He's cool. But I was just like, dude, I just wanted something to cheer me up. Which Frieza, not a good thing to cheer me up with, by the way. But yeah, that's what this was. Let's see. This is in playing JP since 2019. Yeah. I do think this should be like a mainstay for any hot takes thread. Like how much you play and what your power level is should be taken into consideration when reviewing your opinions on the game. So like my global right now is at like 5.3 million, JP's a little under 1 million, and then I've been playing both versions for 6 and 8 years. Well, I guess 6 and 7 years. But that's all this was. Like, I'm just, my take should be more valid than someone who plays like 3 times a week, if that makes sense. And then we're just gonna skip through all these. He did like the pictures of my cat. We absolutely love that. Where's my, I have one more take that he didn't go through. Okay, yeah, here's what I was talking about just a minute ago. And then Funny Name actually ranked this. Let me see if I can find it. I probably can't find it this quickly. But he rated it a 9 out of 10. Might not be able to find it fast enough. Because I'm not logged into the account that this one was on. For like the account that I made this thread on, I'm not like, what the hell, dude? This is, maybe I shouldn't be scrolling. All right, you know what? You know what? He rated it a 9 out of 10. Take my word for it, okay? Anyway, so here's the bonus take that he did not see, which is cool and it's fine. I do not like that the 3rd anniversary units are never talked about in the greatest of all time discussion. I agree they aren't the best, but definitely top 5 of all time in my opinion. If y'all were not here, let me go ahead and show you. So if you were not around during the 3rd anniversary, then you might not have an opinion on this, okay? But let me just go ahead and tell y'all something, bro. Let me just go ahead and tell y'all something, right? First of all, this full heal, this is the unit, these are the units that introduce transformations into the game. Full heal is ridiculous, all right? The condition isn't great, but whatever. That's whatever, okay? Their defense, outstanding. Their attack, monumental, bro. Because let me just tell you something. First of all, this Dokkan, this is just a Dokkan event, right? Because back then, I mean, we had Super Battle Road, but Dokkan event was about it. All right, let me show you something. You're about to see this number. You're about to see. All right, 1 million counter. That shit was not common in 2018, bro. Because this is what? This is February 2018. This was not a common thing in 2018. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all that right now. And it's look at 3 million. Obviously, now that's a joke, right? But in 2018, these numbers were almost unheard of. This is no, like, he has good links up. Let me actually check the team, though, before I say this point. All right, well, it was almost there. Hold on. Let me get to the team so I can... Alright. So he was running Tech VB. He was running Tech VB's team. And on this rotation right here, there was no support. There was just links with physical Super Vegeta. But no support. He was hitting those numbers raw in 2018. Right? And Vegito himself. Absolutely great unit. You know, amazing unit. But... hold on, bro. Come on. Let me see if I can get this. Alright, well, this keyboard sucks. This guy was hitting ridiculous numbers. Also, look at this. Truth doesn't have these units, Rainbow. That's actually crazy. The numbers that this guy hit. Also, rest in peace, Boss Rush. They just completely forgot about the mode. Now, I do understand that this is with the Dokkan attack, and he has, like, almost all links up, right? But I want y'all to remember, we are in 2018. All right? 2018. And he hits for 7 million. this was unheard of. This was unheard of. Like, the second anniversary units, they could hit the damage cap with a bunch of items and a nuking lead and blah, 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 blah. These guys did it raw. Not the damage cap, but like, you get what I'm saying? These guys were hitting big numbers. And their base state, let me go ahead and get to it. Their base state wasn't bad. Of course, the fusions were like the mainstays of the unit. But like, their base forms were not bad. Let me see. Oh my gosh, wait, I gotta go by Goku and Vegeta. Oh my gosh, is it because it uses the... It's stupid. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one works. This one, I forgot, they're Super Saiyan. So let's go to... Nope, that's their Easy A. Let me see if I can... Okay, pre-Easy A. So this was their... They got massive stats, and they got 2 ki per ki sphere, and then 6 turn from battle when the HP is 50% or less. They fused. Okay, they fused into the goat. Okay, yeah, here. So he got 30% additional stats when they transformed, fully recovered HP, and then 3 ki per ki sphere or per rainbow. And then the counters were ridiculous, dude. They were crazy. They didn't stack or anything. It's just, you know. But the support on a 2018 super attack, and they were the best unit in the game by far, bar none, bro. They were insane. And then same thing with Gogeta. So yeah, they shared 6 links with my goat right here. Okay, no, just take me to Gogeta. So go to pre-Easy A. So the only difference here is that he didn't counter, and instead he was super effective against all types. And in his 18 ki, he didn't support, but he lowered attack and defense. But yeah, dude, these guys were insane. And nobody mentions them in the greatest of all time discussion. And I think it's probably because they haven't been on banner since the 7th anniversary. So literally, if you started playing after the 7th anniversary, I'm pretty sure it's impossible to have gotten them yet. Because I think that was the last banner they're on, but I don't think there was any other way to get them after that either. I could be wrong. But these are my goats. These are my goats, bro. Like, they were identical in their base forms, but they were so good. Dude, it was ridiculous. And, like, Fusion 170, and, okay, back then, you wanted defense to have the 130. I know now, like, you want all of the stats to be the same, but, like, back then, you wanted the HP and attack to be 170 and defense 130. They were busted. They were ridiculous. My opinion, okay, my take is that, let me get to him. Let me get to the one I'm going to, right? So this guy right here who, you know, that 26th first anniversary. I actually don't remember his Dokkan Awakening. Yeah, his Dokkan Awakening was the same day he releases the Dokkan Awakening, right? So amazing leader skill. Insane passive for 2016. This is still my pick for the greatest of all time in Dokkan history. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Until, which I hope this never happens, by the way. I hope this never happens again, because it was bad for the game then. It would be horrible for the game now. But until a unit comes out that literally makes the rest of your box invalid, I don't want to hear a discussion. Okay? You either had him or you didn't. I was there. All right? Y'all, there's proof. Okay? Let me come up here for y'all. Proof. This is February 17th of 2016. Whoops. This is July 8th of 2016 for global. I was there. Okay? Either you had him or you didn't have him. And if you didn't have him, you re-rolled until you got him. Because all the units that were... Is there a way I can do this by, like... Is there a way I can search the units by time? No. But we go to the very back. All right, so these units that you're about to see here. Also, can I zoom out? Yeah, let me get a better. So all these units, right? These rares, SRs, whatever. These were the units that were out. Okay, these two you can't get anymore, by the way. These were the units that were out before he came out. And a lot of these... Nope, you know what? Take that back. I lied right to your face, because these guys are new. It's going by rarity. Can I... Card ID. There we go. Will this work? Okay. So, yeah. So, like, these units, okay? These units were all that was in the game until I get to STR Gogeta. And I want to make sure I don't accidentally miss him. A lot of these units... Like, the SSR didn't even mean they were the best, okay? Like, what made them the best was... okay, I think I passed him. I think he was on the other page. No. Am I stupid? Oh, no, because he wasn't the first Dokkan fit. I'm stupid. I'm the one that's stupid. So, it looks like it's going to take me a little bit to get there. So, you know what? Scratch that. Scratch that. But, pretty much, all the units in the game were nothing but so much better with STR Gogeta, okay? But back then, it was like, you would run STR Gogeta, like, SR Kid Trunks, Rare Nova, not Nova, Oceania Shenron. Like, that was your team, right? There's just, like, a couple, but, like, Dokkan Fest and stuff, that wasn't even really the big point. And if you didn't have STR Gogeta, you threw all that out, and you started again to get STR Gogeta. If that happened again, that'd be horrible, because there's way more to the game now. So if they made something that was so monumentally better than the rest of the game that you should just throw it all away, that would not be good for the game. So I think STR Gogeta is the best unit in the game, or the best unit of all time, and I don't think he should ever be dethroned, alright? And then for my second pick, I would say Beast. My second pick would be Beast, and then my third pick would be Kale and Caulifla. Alright, the LR. Oh my gosh, I forgot because it's stupid. Is it? Oh no, it's the actual name is Caulifla and Kale. Yeah, they ran shit, bro. They dethroned the 4th anniversary units and the 5th anniversary units, bro. They came out before the 5th anniversary, and they were better than the 5th anniversary units. Like when the 5th annie first dropped, a lot of people were saying like, are they better? Yes, Kale and Caulifla are better, bro. They were better. They were absolutely ridiculous. It's not even... They're ridiculous. They're insane. That's my pick for number 3. My number 4 pick is... I don't really know for sure if my number 4 pick would be the 3rd annie units, which they're literally identical until they fuse. So I'm just gonna throw them both in there. Oh, you can do by release day. I didn't even see that. I think though my 4th pick for best unit in the game, if not the 3rd anniversary units, would it be? I'm honestly not 100% sure, because I know I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting somebody. I've got to be forgetting somebody that's like insane. Like, I mean, he's good, but I wouldn't put him in the GOAT discussion. It'll take me a while to get to... Yeah, it'll take me a while to get to any unit of note. So yeah, I can't really think of off the top of my head anybody else. But that's my top 5 is Beast, Kale and Caulifla, nope, Gogeta, Beast, Kale and Caulifla, 3rd anniversary units, and then one other person or one other unit that I'm just like, I bet after... Oh, would it be him? No. Physical VB. Physical VB was pretty good. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I know as soon as I stop recording, I'll remember who I originally was thinking of, and then I might comment. I don't know. But yeah, I went on a long tangent about my final take because he didn't get to talk about it, so I had to make sure that everybody knew how I felt about this. But yeah, that's me explaining my Dokkan hot takes. My thumbnail will probably be the thumbnail he used with explained at the bottom of it. So, hope y'all enjoyed this video, just going over my hot takes. Let me know what y'all want to see in the comments, because right now I'm just kind of doing whatever. But yeah, thank y'all for watching, and I will catch y'all in the next one.